Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday, and boy, we have like some great stuff to talk about this week. If you're new here, this is where we just kind of have a little discussion about some of the new releases and reissues that came out on vinyl today or within the past couple of weeks and have straggled in finally. Anyway, if you like hearing about new music and you're a fan of vinyl, I would suggest that you hit that subscribe button down below and like it, share it, share it, whatever. It all helps in the end. And so anyway, how are you? I hope you have been having a wonderful week. It's been busy, and I think this weekend is going to be particularly busy because of President's Day. Isn't it President's Day on Monday or something like that? We don't take the day off, but it usually makes the weekend boom when people have a nice 3-day holiday. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to start out with my pick of the week. Now, this might be kind of predictable, and you probably won't be surprised to find that my pick for you this week is Beach House, and it is Once Twice Melody, and it's on Sub Pop. And this is 2 LPs. It's a double. This is, in fact, their 8th studio album, and it features songs presented in 4 chapters. Across the songs, many types of the styles and different song structures can be heard, and they are building. Somebody made a nice kind of an analogy about how they've been doing things over the years. And I can't remember it verbatim how they did it, but let's just say it's something like this. If you had this ship, and over time, okay, first, something was rusting out, so you replaced the screws, and then you had to replace the sails, and then you had to do some work on the woodwork and all this. And by the time that you finish, like you doing all your repairs and stuff, it's really not actually the same boat, but it encompasses the same thing as the original boat. Kind of that's how they are, and they've just been building over time. In addition to these new sounds and many drum machines, organs, keyboards, tones, your listeners, you listeners might associate with typical beach house stuff. They've also stretched it further, and this time around, again, they're using a live drummer on some of the tracks, like they did on the album 7. And it's the same guy. Let me see. His name is James Barone, and yes, he was the same guy that was on the 2018 album 7. And they have used a live string ensemble. This is also the first time that this has been produced entirely by the band. So that being the 2 main, Victoria and, oh gosh, it's escaping me what this guy's name is. Oh, I feel terrible. I'm so sorry. Victoria Legrand and the other guy. I'm sorry. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. This comes in a couple of different ways. This is called the Silver Edition, and that is indicated by this silver border that goes around. And the vinyl isn't silver. The vinyl is black vinyl. It's 2 pieces of vinyl. It's a double, as I said. And this is, it looks like it's not a gatefold, or is it? No, this is not a gatefold sleeve, but it does come with a double-sided exclusive poster. And I don't think there's a download code with it. I don't believe there is. Okay, well anyway, double-sided exclusive poster. Then there's the super deluxe beautiful gold version of this, which is in a box. This also 2 LPs. One is gold, one is clear. And it has 2 different exclusive posters and a full color booklet that come in this particular variant of it, okay? So that's for those of you that are, this is a limited edition one. And so this one has just a little bit more stuff in it. If you're a fan of cassettes, you can get it on cassette. And if you can see, there's 1 clear cassette and 1 gold one. So that's the way the cassettes come. There's a CD as well. And anyway, boy, beautiful. If you look back over the previous 10 years, this is like most of the songs here were created during this time, but a few date back, as many as that 10 years ago. This is something they've been building on. So there's a few of those moments in here that, a lot of times bands do that. They have fragments of songs that don't make it until years later. But the growth of them It's wonderful, and it's just, boy, something to really immerse yourself in. Okay, so that is my pick for you, and that's my only pick since there's several variants, and I thought, well, apart from that, let's just get to it. Okay, we got a stack to get through here. There's some great stuff. First up, 13th Floor Elevators. This is Easter Everywhere, and this is on the Charlie label. Now, this is the 13th Floor Elevators. It was their second album, and it was widely regarded as their finest album. It captures them before the problems with drug abuse, mental health problems, and a little trouble with the law. So this was like before all that. And then it kind of led to their premature demise, all those things stacking up against them. But, this was before all of that. This is a 2-disc edition. It features the original mono album plus the original stereo version, newly remastered. So you get it both ways on this. It's 2 LPs. So the latter is different to the alternative stereo version that was used on the Sign of the Three-Eyed Men box set. And disc 2 also features a bonus track. So this is on 2 LPs. They're clear with like yellow and white splatter on them. So that's what it looks like. And also from 13th Floor Elevators, this is Psychedelic Sounds of 13th Floor Elevators, also on the Charlie label. This one's a double 180-gram heavyweight vinyl edition. This was the debut album from 1966, and it has this newly remastered mono mixes plus the original stereo mix of the band's intended running order. So it's a little different in that way. This was previously only available as part of the award-winning Music of the Spheres box set. And this is the first vinyl reissue in over four decades. Wow, sourced from original tapes for the stereo version. So LP1 is the remastered mono version, and LP2 is a remastered edition of the original stereo mix in the band's intended running order, okay? So you get 2 LPs, and these are kind of an opaque mint green color with red splatter. That's how that one works, all right? Then we have Bad Brains Quickness. This is on Org Music. This is the 4th full-length album from Bad Brains, originally released by Caroline Records in 1989. And at the time of its release, it was the band's best-selling album and also landed them a featured MTV music video for the opening track, Soulcraft. So this reissue marks the 5th release in the remaster campaign relaunching Bad Brains Records label imprint, okay? So in coordination with the band, Org Music has overseen the restoration and remastering of the iconic Bad Brains recordings. You can get those now. Oops. Okay, this is Eva Cassidy. Eva Cassidy. This is Songbird, and this is Songbird Deluxe. Again, 2 LPs. This is on Blix Street Records. Now, Eva Cassidy, singer-songwriter, she died of cancer in 1996. She was only 33 years old, and she had such a beautiful voice, and it's truly kind of a great loss that she went so early, because this is a terrific collection of some ballads, some jazz, some classics, like Over the Rainbow. Beautiful job on that. So there was an article in the Washington Post about Sting and his song Fields of Gold. And the article had said that years after Eva's death here, Sting heard her rendition of the song, and he went on to say that he was quite territorial about that song, arrogant even, only brought to tears by her totally different vocal interpretation. So, that's kind of an interesting little aside there. Anyway, they've done this on 45 RPM vinyl, okay? But if you want something unusual that you maybe haven't heard before, you might want to check her out. Beautiful voice, very, very cool. All right, now we have the Circle Jerks, Wild in the Streets, and this is on the Trust record label. This is, believe it or not, the 40th anniversary of their second album here, which includes bonus tracks and a 20-page booklet in this edition. Features rare photos, flyers, testimonials, and a detailed history of the album. So bringing back some of the classics. Okay, this is Combo Chimbita. Combo Chimbita. And this is called Ire, and it's on the Anti-Record label. Combo Chimbita, this is a primal roar of catharsis on their latest album, Ire. They're channeling a burning spiritual awakening blazing through the world and in their hearts. Okay, so this has got ancestral drumming, free jazz, electronic distortion, and wordless chants. They're all throughout this, and it's a testament to the ever-expanding scope of Combo Chimbita's sonic palette and acts of resistance in realms both spiritual and terrestrial. So this is for you activists out there. This New York City-based quartet, they're tracing their roots back to Colombia and even further to the pre-colonial continent of Abayala. Often described as tropical futurists for their ambitious melange of ancestral musical traditions and cutting-edge experimentation and creative unity. So by identifying as Abayalists, the ensemble takes yet another step forward, unshackling their essence from the cruelty of conquest and the stifling oppression of land borders. So it's heavy stuff, but boy, real super experimental, kind of along the lines of something like, I don't know, like Sun Ra or something like that, where it's just like this spacey, everything in the mix, everything but with the kitchen sink. This includes a poster. It's like a 12 by 12, and I believe it's of this artwork here. So that's something really, really unusual, really wild for if you want to try something different. Okay. Then we have David Crosby for free. This is on BMG Rights Management, the 8th studio album by American musician David Crosby of Crosby, Stills and Nash. I think there was Crosby and Nash at one point. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Anyway, this album features, it was originally released in 2021. Again, I think with sometimes the supply chain problems that, that's why it's sort of looking like a new release again now, even though it hasn't been out that long. It was probably kind of unavailable while everything was clogged up there. So here it is. It features collaborations with Donald Fagen and Michael McDonald. But I believe that this, I guess, I'm trying to think. I thought it came out a little earlier than 2021, but I guess that's true. Sorry. Anyway, got, like I said, collabs with Donald Fagen from Steely Dan, Michael McDonald, and Crosby's son, James Raymond, and this woman, Sarah Jaros. So the cover artwork here was designed by none other than Joan Baez. And boy, I didn't know she was a good painter like that, but very good likeness, I would say. And the record draws its name from the title track as a cover of Joni Mitchell's 1970s song from her album, Ladies of the Canyon, which David Crosby reimagines for this project, featuring that woman, Sarah Jaros, guesting with him. So, he was inspired. Joni's the greatest living singer-songwriter, and For Free is one of her simplest songs. And it's one of his favorite songs, and he loves what it says about the spirit of music and what compels you to play. So there you go. If that's something you're interested in. Next up, we have the Divine Comedy, A Charmed Life. This is the best of Divine Comedy on Divine Comedy Records. They're a pop band from Northern Ireland. They were kind of around like during 1989, and they're fronted by this guy, Neil Hannon, and he's the only constant member of this band. I don't really know how many albums they have collectively, but this is a career-spanning collection of hit singles and fan favorites, and it also features a brand new track here that's called The Best Mistakes. So if you're a Divine Comedy fan, you can kind of get all the good stuff in one go now. And along those lines, same kind of thing here, this reissue of Echo and the Bunnymen, Songs to Learn and Sing. This is through Rhino and Warner Brothers. And these guys are like pioneers of this post-punk new wave kind of scene, and having released 4 highly acclaimed albums throughout their career that were like Crocodiles, Heaven Up Here, Porcupine, and Ocean Rain. All of those were amazing records. Originally released in 1985, Songs to Learn and Sing is a comprehensive collection of Echo and the Bunnymen's first 4 albums, from their second single, Rescue, to The Cutter. The anthemic The Killing Moon also included Bring on the Dancing Horses. That was a single launched at the time in conjunction with this record. It's here we are. It comes back now on vinyl to go back before they go back on tour celebrating 40 years of magical songs, and they're going to be touring through 2022. So this is where you can get all the greatest and best ofs. They really were a great band, I gotta say. Okay, this is Stro Elliott. Yeah. Stro Elliott, James Brown. Black and Loud, James Brown reimagined by Stro Elliott. This is on Polydor. Now, Stro Elliott is of the Roots, and he puts his spin on 10 classic James Brown tracks here. The remixes draw upon a variety of inspirations. You're going to hear like him introducing into these classics little Afrobeat, dance, R&B, and electronica. So playing around with that, and it's pretty cool, actually. Next up, we have Frightened Rabbit. This is Midnight Organ Fight on Pod Inertia. This is the second studio outing from this Scottish indie rockers, Frightened Rabbit. It's actually the group's first proper album, and in 2006, they had an engaging yet slight Sing the Greys, but it was like largely demos, and so this was really their first proper album that came, and it had its predecessor's raw, nervy energy, but it introduced elements of proper like arena-fueled energy. Grandiose, a large part due to the band's fiery performances. They were, very energetic, but also, kind of great production too. This guy, Peter Caddis, that worked with Interpol and the National, kind of had a crack at them. So anyway, 14-track collection is essentially a breakup album, but it's interesting because despite its brutal and frankly decimated subject matter, it's very musically uplifting and emotionally charged, and it manages to inspire you, and even at its most venomous, it still kind of has you feeling good. Originally released in 2008, and here for you now. Now, sadly, one of their main guys here ended up committing suicide, so I don't know what his drama was or anything, but that, a lot of people were really sad about that because they were some real up and comers, and it's just always sad when someone you think they have everything and something drives them to that. So sad story, Okay, this is the Get Up Kids. There are rules, and this is on Quality Hill Records. Okay, and this is the 5th studio album by this American rock band, the Get Up Kids. Originally released in 2011, this is the first studio album since 2004's Guilt Show. So after their initial reunion, they decided to challenge themselves to write a record and record it in only 2 weeks without using any digital technology. And it's kind of funny because due to conflicting schedules, they dropped the 2-week deadline and recorded over several months in 2009 and 2010. So that just goes to show you should never announce these crazy things if you really can't, follow through. It's just kind of real easy to have that stuff, we're announcing and falls short. But anyway, after years of being out of print, this is Polyvinyl is bringing this out and to reintroduce fans and listeners alike to one of the most expansive releases in the band's discography. So this is over 2 LPs of clear blue vinyl, and what it is it's also got a download with it. But it's 2 LPs. It features these 6 bonus tracks that include the Simple Science EP. So kind of you get this more of a deluxe version of this, okay? And next up we have Beth Hart, and this is Better Than Home. It's on clear transparent vinyl on Pro Vogue Records. Okay, so this is available for the first time on this transparent vinyl. It's a very limited release of 500 copies. Better Than Home, it's her most introspective album because these songs came from the depths of her soul, which reveals terrible pain in her past. And she found herself working through family issues and personal demons on this one. Lessons learned that helped her come to grips with these issues to find real beauty in her life. Now, you might know her because she did work with Joe Bonamassa kind of got her name out there. But anyway, these are some reissues of a few of her solo records. There's one, and there's also this one that is called Fire on the Floor. This is also limited to 500 copies, and it's on that transparent clear vinyl. The album that she felt she needed to make 12 songs run the gamut of genres that reflect her eclectic teenage influences, things like everything from gospel, soul, classical to the seismic rock of Soundgarden. So it's all kind of, heavily influenced by all these different things, and that's what she made. Okay, then we have Hope Conspiracy, Death Knows Your Name, and this is on Death Wish Inc. And Hope Conspiracy, they're a legendary hardcore band from Boston, Massachusetts. It's a stark and mesmerizing chapter in their legacy, but from the first haunting notes of They Know Not, which is their opener, to the earth-shattering Stolen Days, the unforgiving heaviness and rage of the album is really undeniable. So serving as an amalgamation of their classic kind of piss and vinegar approach, this is a newfound maturity for them. And originally released in 2006, Death Wish has now released this remastered version with updated artwork and a bonus track called Euro Hell from their out-of-print 2006 EP, Hang Your Cross. Okay, so it's all updated and nice and shiny, repackaged for you now. Okay, then this is cool. This is Hurrah for the Riff Raff, Life on Earth. This is on the None Such label. And this is the None Such debut for Hooray for the Riff Raff. This is, who is Alinda Segarra. So Life on Earth is a departure for this Bronx-born, New Orleans-based singer-songwriter. It's 11 new nature punk tracks on the theme of survival in the music in a world of flux. So, again, everybody's singing about this kind of thing now. It's about thriving, but not just surviving while this disaster is happening. And for her 8th full-length album, she drew inspiration from The Clash, Beverly Glenn Copeland, Bad Bunny, and the author of Emergent Strategy, Adrienne Murray Brown. So it's recorded during the pandemic. Life on Earth was produced by this guy, Brad Cook, who's done work with Waxahachie, Bon Iver, and Kevin Morby. So this was actually real good. We listened to this today, and it could have been a pick, but, I just wanted to talk about Beach House. Now, I think that there's regular black vinyl. They look exactly the same, and there's a clear vinyl variant. Now, it'll say clear vinyl here. Look at the sticker, if that's how you, if you come in to shop, and it'll say on clear vinyl here, and this one is the black vinyl, okay? So sometimes they're just that subtle. Okay, then we have cassette only right now. This is Immolation, Acts of God, okay? And this is on Nuclear Blast. And Immolation is their latest creation. Acts of God, released today on CD, digital, and cassette. And the vinyl will not be out until April 8th. This is the 11th studio album. It's the next chapter of Immolation's death metal epic. With 5 long years passed since the most recent studio album, Atonement, Acts of God vigorously showcases their ability to consistently create fascinating sounds while keeping their feet firmly rooted in the old school New York death metal. This is what they're renowned for. Okay, this also, another one, could have easily been a pick. Fabulous. Khruangbin and Leon Bridges' Texas Moon. This is the companion piece to Texas Sun that you may remember from a while back. This is on Dead Oceans. So 2 of the acts that are boldly leading Texas music into the future have now delivered their 2nd chapter of their groundbreaking collaboration, further extending the region's sonic possibilities. So singer-songwriter Leon Bridges from Fort Worth, Texas, and the trailblazing Houston trio Khruangbin have joined forces for Texas Moon. It's a follow-up to 2020's acclaimed Texas Sun project. And while the 5 new songs are clearly a continuation of that first EP, they have an identity of their own. And like Leon Bridges calls it, more introspective, while Khruangbin's bassist Laura Lee says it just feels more like nighttime. So it's a set of songs that touch on themes like love, faith, and death while exploring new dimensions of inventive, hypnotic grooves. Now you can get this 2 ways. It's on either black vinyl or Blue Days, which has the sticker. And it also comes on cassette. And, it's just great. I just love the way that, them being an instrumental band, they've chosen Leon Bridges to be the singer that, they use to make these different things. And it doesn't sound like Leon Bridges. It doesn't sound like Khruangbin. It's like a whole different thing. But yeah, the companion piece, Texas Moon. Companion piece to Texas Sun. Texas Moon. Okay. This is the Liquid Tension Experiment, and this is Liquid Tension Experiment 2. It's on Cleopatra. And this is brand new vinyl. It's a sophomore album from this prog rock supergroup that features all these guys like Tony Levin, who played, he's got that stick bass that, he plays with King Crimson and sometimes with Peter Gabriel. He's in it. John Petrucci from Dream Theater, keyboardist Jordan Rudess, also from Dream Theater, and drummer Mike Portnoy, also from Dream Theater. So this album, as well as its predecessor, which was Liquid Tension Experiment 1, has become this legendary among prog rock jazz fusion enthusiasts. It features groundbreaking improvisations, this insanely technical playing and truly mesmerizing production. It's like math rock at its finest, I guess you could say. Limited edition gatefold double LP. It's in green or blue vinyl. So this one here, as you can see, is green. It'll tell you on the label. Okay, this one is from Logic, Bobby Tarantino 3. This is on Def Jam, and it's originally released digitally in 2021 to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the first Bobby Tarantino mixtape. Grammy-nominated multi-platinum artist Logic brings new chapter on Bobby Tarantino 3. Features the tracks Vaccine, Get Up, My Way, Call Me, and more. The original Bobby Tarantino mixtape, released in 2016, rose to number 2 on both Billboard's top rap albums and top R&B hip-hop album charts. So both volumes 1 and 2 have been certified gold and by the RIAA. So, this is stuff people are real into. There you go. It is Bobby Tarantino 3. Okay, this is cool stuff. This is Los Campesinos, Hello Sadness. This is the 10th anniversary on the Arts and Crafts label, recorded just outside of Catalonia in 2011. Hello Sadness is an album of breakups, body parts, and, as always, football. 10 years ago, it cemented Los Campesinos' position as a Mescuan band. Now, that's a Catalan phrase, and it means more than a club. It's kind of specific to that region, but it's important. And, it's not a thing that's just tossed around. It's got real meaning. This might be the most gut-wrenching, emotionally devastating album the group ever produced, and the rawness and brutal honesty that spilled out, it felt like an invitation to join the band itself, or at least some Broken Hearts support group. It was a limited edition. It's remastered here, transparent blue vinyl, and when we have their stuff, we can't keep it in. It just goes. And so in addition to that, there's also a reissue of Los Campesinos, Romance is Boring. This is also the 10th anniversary, Arts and Crafts label. First 2 albums, the band carried itself like critical favorites are expected to, with really great taste and highly quotable interviews. They were studious enough with a canon to have a good laugh at its expense kind of thing. They've got that kind of wry wit attached to their music and in their interviews. And by comparison, Romance is Boring, it appeared to be this quintessential third album identity crisis that people have, but significantly longer, bursting with ideas, delving into prog and emo and other places that, most bands didn't really tread in 2010. But this is limited edition remastered gold, 2 LPs, and it does come with a download card. Okay, next up we have The Lox, Filthy America. It's beautiful on Rock Nation. And this is the 5-year anniversary of Filthy America. It's beautiful, and it's first time on vinyl. It features Mobb Deep, Gucci Mane, and more. And if you're familiar with that, you know already. It's what that's all about. It's first time on vinyl, as I said. Now we have Marillion, Fugazi 2021, the stereo remix of this. Rhino Parlophone is the label. Following release of the celebrated Fugazi Deluxe Edition, Marillion's second studio album is released featuring the brand new 2021 remixed stereo versions. It was originally released in 1984. Fugazi went on to be certified gold and reached number 5 in the UK album charts. The classic album spawned 2 singles. One was called Assassin, and then the other one was Punch and Judy. So both reaching 22 and 29 on the UK singles charts respectively. It's funny, Marillion never was like real big in this country, but massive in the UK especially. But I know they still have fans here, obviously, if they're doing this reissue. Okay, this is Metronomy. It's called Small World, and it's on Because Music label. Small World, it's a return to simple pleasures, nature, and embracing, in part, more pared down songwriting lyrics, and sonically, everything's real pared down for this one. Things are different now. Joe Mount is getting older, and what's on his mind is changing, but doesn't mark a change in quality for Metronomy. It's an immaculate set of tracks. His ability as a songwriter and arranger still really shines through. And this one, it's on limited edition transparent vinyl, clear vinyl. But anyway, he continues to make great pop music, and really it's all you could really ask for. This is a gatefold sleeve on this one too. After that, okay, here's Lee Morgan, Caramba. This is on the Blue Note label. And Lee Morgan, when he recorded this album, he was only months away from his 30th birthday, making the fact that this was his 23rd Blue Note recording even more astounding. So it's a full-fledged master. His technical prowess and the horn matched by emotional depth of his playing, and a composer who he conjures different moods and styles with his writing. This is on the Blue Note Classic vinyl series. It's all analog, mastered by Kevin Gray from the original master tapes, and pressed on 180-gram vinyl at Optimal. So, that's another one. That is kind of crazy, isn't it? How he was so young when he started, and I mean, what a productive career, good God. Okay, this is Night Rage, Abyss Rising. This is on Napalm Records, and it's the first album after 3 years from they're a melodic death metal Swedish outfit. That's what they're kind of known for, is like that their particular brand of metal is very melodic. It's partly inspired by Dante's Inferno, and it explores man's continual destruction of the world we live in until the abyss opens to consume all before it. Okay, the band has embraced a harder, faster, and brutal approach, still rich and melodic intent, but very heavy and aggressive. So that's the new one from them. Okay, now this is a nice kind of a, I don't know, I want to say it's kind of a concept piece. It's Palace, and it's called Shoals. It's on the Virgin Music International label. It's a very profound, very pensive album, boldly exploring some of life's greatest questions over these mesmerizing 12 tracks. It explores 3 main existential dilemmas against a broader backdrop. So it's kind of like it's a little bit ethereal, a little bit overthought, but not in a bad way. I don't even know how to say that to you properly, but it's got this opus that is a wonder at the vastness of the power of the ocean, and it's got this, like I said, this stunning opus right in the middle of it. It's called Sky Becomes Sea. So through diving into these themes of nature, ocean, water, the subconscious dreams, and existentialism. See what I mean? It's very kind of intellectual, overwrought in that way, but it's broadly a record about living with and processing fear. And it's on translucent blue vinyl. It's all got this like water, oceanic theme going through it, which I kind of like. Nice artwork on the cover. And yeah, it's something real, really a think tank kind of album, I guess you could say. But it doesn't tax you unnecessarily heavily. Like, sometimes some of these intellectual type of, there's like sometimes singer-songwriters that are like that, or even bands. And I don't, well, the Decemberists are kind of popping into my mind. Everything's a little overwrought, and you feel like you have to be of a certain, I don't know, IQ to listen to their stuff. I don't know. I think sometimes it can go too far. This is a little more passive, but still has that crazy theme going through it. I don't think they ask too much of the listener, though. Okay. This is Carly Pearce, 29, written in stone. This is on the Big Machine label. She expands her critically acclaimed 29 into the full-blown album song cycle 29, written in stone. In a classic Carly style, she captures the kind of true country that's become the hallmark for this two-time ACM and CMA award winner, developing the straightforward emotions and classic sounds that have really kind of defined one of the genre's most important voices. This is on translucent green vinyl, 2 LPs, and it comes in a gatefold jacket. Okay, this here is Poetica, and it's on the Sono recording group. It's a stylistically expansive spoken word project that it merges text, voice, and music in the spirit of like Leonard Cohen, Patti Smith, and Laurie Anderson. It's really good. It's conceived by Rachel Sage with Grammy-nominated cellist Dave Agar, and it really infuses like jazz, classical, new beat, and Americana all together. They've got, a trumpeter, a drummer, and a guitarist working in there too. It includes 4 still life postcards, a poster with lyrics on the back, and a download card on 180-gram vinyl. This is Shovels and Rope, Manticore. It's on the Dual Tone Music Group, 7th full-length studio album from this celebrated rock duo. The songs and stories that make up Manticore are visceral, bold, and at times very personal. And while those adjectives could be used to describe the duo themselves, this time around it rings true in a way that hits differently, or at least harder. Everything hits harder for everyone these days. And while most of these songs were written before the pandemic, they were all recorded in a time where everyone was inside. So it takes aim at the human experience, reflects on idol worship, homelessness, social justice, the experience of fierce parental love and marital strife. All that is on the menu here. So it's kind of like another heavy hitter of all kinds of things that everybody is experiencing and going through these days. Okay, this one again, excellent here. This is Sleigh Bells, Texas. This is on Mom and Pop. So after they released their 2010 album Treats on Mom and Pop, that became an instant indie classic. They were deemed Best New Music by Pitchfork, Phenomenal by Paste Magazine, Pop Smarts by Rolling Stone, and a Game Changer by Stereo Gum. So anyway, they're like this noise duo. So don't let this beautiful picture of their singer like make you think otherwise. This is still noise pop at its finest. They've returned with their 5th studio album here, and it's just a smorgasbord of eclectic new sounds and transcending genders, rooting itself in this shocking and undeniably catchy nature of the Sleigh Bells' early work. It doesn't quite pack the same punch as Treats did, but it still has its own very distinct charm, and it's a curiosity and unpredictable song structure that they do. This is on clear vinyl, and really recommend that for you too. Okay, next up, this is Tennyson, and it's called Rot. This is on Counter Records. So Tennyson returns with this album, Rot. Tennyson is actually his name, Luke Pretty, goes by Tennyson, okay? And throughout this album's 12 tracks, he refines the signature sound of his, making these flurried beats come into focus and his riveting hooks even catchier. And this is the first project which he sings, lends his voice to almost every song, with the exception of coming from a feature with a singer-songwriter, Ray Morris, on the track called Slow Dance. So it's got dramatic dynamics and emotional weight are the driving force of Rot, making for pop music for misfits, which I kind of like the idea of that. Okay, then we have, this is Frank Turner, FTHC. This is on Virgin Music International. It's Frank Turner's first since 2019. The album was recorded at Abbey Road Studios, and it darts between punk, folk, and hard rock, and singer-songwriter confessionals in the lyrics. And let's see. Okay, so starting with Gathering, The Gathering features Jason Isbell and Muse's Dom Howard, which that's kind of a motley crew, isn't it? The project ends with a rumination of leaving the capital after 7,300 days, a new life on the Essex coast with the bittersweet farewell to my city, and it's on red vinyl. Okay. This is Twilight Sad, 14 Anthems and 15 Winters on Fat Cat. And this is the debut album from this Scottish indie rock band, the Twilight Sad. Originally released in 2007, and while they may be quite accurately bracketed as a shoegaze band, what sets them apart is the fact that the force of their music is considerable as it isn't derived purely from its volume, okay? Any band can make racket, but it's emotional intensity that they have that makes the difference here. So kind of for you shoegaze fans and enthusiasts, there's something there for you. Okay, this is various artists, gritty 60s garage and punk on the Beat Rocket label. This is early punk, garage rock, and psych monsters. Rare and originally unissued artifacts from the 60s infestation of teenagers with guitars and drums that took over their parents' garages. This has all the grit, the grease, grime of garage can be heard in each of the 17 tracks compiled here, all cooked up in the great state of California. It's on gold vinyl, and yeah, I wouldn't even think if I read any of these off, they're not going to mean much to you because this is like real underground garage. Cool stuff. All right, this is Wage War, and it's called Maniac. This is on Fearless Records. The fourth studio album by this American metalcore band Wage War, and it's a follow-up to 2019's Pressure. Manic encompasses all the turmoil that the band experiences within the last year, and their feelings associated with it. The industry under fire due to the pandemic, so these guys were like, all of a sudden they're out of work, and they're a Florida quintet. But they used that time to create an album that forged a combination of jarring hooks and gnashing riffs to, unleash on all of us. So metalcore was one of the first genres to get tucked away and one of the last ones to return as things kind of start to, I don't even want to say normalize, but, work our way into the new normal. But anyway, these guys were out of a job and not happy about it. It's real raw and real energetic, and it's good. Okay, let's see. This one here is We Were Promised Jetpacks, These Four Walls on the POD label. The debut studio album by the Scottish indie rock band, originally released in 2009. Driving beats, minor chord, dark sentiments, intense dynamics, sincere vocals, A variety of tones within songs, precise, tight beats. These guys are the real deal. Well organized, create a mood that jumps from the exciting and epic to very mellow and relaxing. So kind of runs that whole gamut of feelings here, even very inspirational at times. Okay, this is White Lies as I Try Not to Fall Apart. This is on Pious Recordings. Overall, it's a solidly good record from the now indie veterans, and it shows a band not bothering to rest on their laurels, even if they know what makes a record good. So this is White Lies. It's an album full of great songwriting and intriguing lyricism. Very little filler on this. Cream-colored vinyl, and have a go. This here is also really great. This is White Stripes to Style on Third Man Records, and it's a reissue. Okay, De Style is named after the Dutch art movement and magazine of the same name from the early 20th century. White Stripes, this is their sophomore release, and it finds the band recording in the comfortable confines of Jack White's Third Man Studios that at that time was housed in the ground floor of his house in southwest Detroit. This is the album that propelled them into globetrotting rock and roll prominence, and the on-point covers of Sun House and Blind Willie McTell wonderfully pair with both the minimal down-tempo and somber numbers and the maximum energy explosive stuff that they do. It's pressed on 180 gram vinyl, and it's housed in this Stoughton tip-on sleeve, and this is undoubtedly the best version of De Style to hit the shelves. Now, what is a Stoughton tip-on sleeve? It's this, typically kind of a thing that we saw in like around 1975. It's this glossy sort of stuck on cover work. It just looks different. And but anyway, that's what all this is, real retro from all kinds of different things. It's hard to show you what I'm talking about here. But okay, so that's like kind of wrapping it up for us for the list this week. I hope you found something in there that you find interesting. And have you seen the new Record Store Day list? Boy, it's going to be good this year. I'm so glad it's just returning to just one day, a special day, and there's like strong releases, something for everyone. It's going to be good. Let me know what you're hoping for and hoping to get your hands on if anything super intrigued you. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everyone. And if you're local, you can come in, and we're open from 10 to 4 every single day. And I expect it's going to be a busy weekend this weekend because of the holiday. So if you just are getting a nice 3-day break from your job, good for you. And I hope it's great. And I'll see you next time, okay?